Hey, get in here. Dallas is about to start.
Welcome to the Ewing Barbecue. We are a Dallas rewatch podcast. We are rewatching every single episode of Dallas one at a time, and we've been doing that for almost 6 years. We are currently on season 7, and not only do we talk about Dallas and make jokes and have fun, but we also have a drinking game. So welcome, and can we buy you a drink? My name is Mary.
And I'm Sarah.
I'm Brad.
A quick shout out to our Patreon members: Brendan Fillick, Captain America, Carrie Carver, Amy Hara, Dr. Cindy Corliss, Richard Lundberg, Marie Johnson, Corey Springhorn, Michael Ewing, Jason Carter, Jennifer Indelicato, Laura Bernheim, Carl Reinsch, Anita Wren, and Kristen Carlano. Thank you guys. That list is growing and we appreciate it so much. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon member, or if you don't know what that is, it's for people who are giving us a little bit of money to help us keep going, because we are doing this without sponsorship or anything like that. So you can go to patreon.com/EwingBBQ, and we try to give you a little something extra every once in a while for doing so. But we 100% give you our everlasting love.
A little something extra.
Thank you.
A little something extra.
Yes.
Happy New Year,
Happy New
to
Year.
everybody. This is our first recording of 2025. We took a little hiatus because I know I needed it.
I think we all did. Christmas kills me every year.
We're also streaming live on Twitch, so you can see our faces live. Carrie Carver's in the chat room here. Hello, Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
She says hi.
Hey, Carrie.
If you're interested in seeing our very own Dallas Blair Sullivan, otherwise known as the amazing actor Ray Wise, he will be in a few weeks live in the Snoqualmie Valley, Washington State, from February 21st to 24th at the Real Twin Peaks event. And he's going to be getting handprints and signing his name in cement. It's going to be outside the North Bend Theater in North Bend, Washington. That's the theater that his film Fire Walk with Me premiered in 1992. And last year, they gave the handprints thing to Kyle MacLachlan and to Cher Lee. And this year, they're having a ceremony giving it to Ray Wise. They're doing a showing of RoboCop, which Ray was also in.
I love RoboCop.
Detroit movie, yes. And so if you are also a Twin Peaks fan, that is a great opportunity to go. The VIP tickets are sold out, but there are a la carte tickets still available for almost every event. And you can go to therealtwinpeaks.com and check that out, where there's going to be a Leland Palmer, played by Ray Wise, karaoke. There's going to be a throwback in time 1989 Twin Peaks High School prom happening. There are location tours. There is the 25th year of the ultimate Twin Peaks trivia being delivered by Josh Eisenstadt, and just a bunch of great people. There's even going to be a memorial for David Lynch, who unfortunately passed away this past January 15th, 5 days before his 79th birthday.
Rest
Sad.
in peace, David Lynch.
If you don't I also help run that event. So
Is that why you're promoting it so hard?
that could be why I'm promoting it. But yeah, so you should come check it out. It's because I love both Dallas and Twin Peaks, and it's going to be a great time. But we are starting it out by having a memorial for David, and then that's just gonna, we're gonna let some feelings out, and then it's gonna transition to an amazing weekend.
That's sad though, but it's good. That'll be neat though.
Tonight, We are talking about season 7, episode 10, episode 141 of the series.
Wow.
The Buck Stops Here.
I just like the name of this episode.
I'm going to tell you once more. There's nothing going on between Peter Richards and me. And if you do anything to harm that young man, you're going to wake up one morning and find out that you no longer have a wife.
Jenna Wade has always bothered me, because I don't think she's right for you.
I don't think you have the slightest idea what or who I need.
You don't feel anything toward me?
That would be wrong.
Who says falling in love is wrong?
You're a tough act to follow. I am a tough act to follow. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. It was written by Arthur Bernard Lewis, directed by Leonard Katzman, and aired December 2nd, 1983. And on December 2nd, 1983, the number one song in the U.S. was All Night Long, A Night by Lionel Richie. The number one UK song was Only You by the Flying Pickets. The number one film in the United States was Terms of Endearment, which is a film I've actually never seen, but when I look
really
at this
good.
cast, I have to. It is Shirley MacLaine, Deborah Winger,
so
Jack
good.
Nicholson, Danny DeVito, Jeff Daniels, and John Lithgow. Holy shit.
It was
And it's
on
really
the
odd.
other
Like, you
night.
don't expect how it goes. It's really good.
Okay.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
I've never seen
When
it.
I
I
turn
need
my
to.
TV on downstairs, it goes immediately to like a Samsung channel that just shows movies all the time. And
Oh, yeah,
I turn it
yeah.
on and it was on. I'm like, Terms of Endearment. That's weird. Anyway, that might have been last
Cool.
night. I didn't watch it.
The
They
top,
did. They lay there and cried and ate snickerdoodles.
the big news story from today was that it was December 2nd, 1983, where Michael Jackson's groundbreaking music video for Thriller was broadcast for the first time on MTV. Marking a pivotal moment in music video history. The innovative video, directed by John Landis, revolutionized the music video genre with its cinematic quality, elaborate choreography, and horror movie narrative. And also, I had to know, this was filmed in the summer of 1983 is when they filmed this. And John Landis is the director, and John Landis is the director who was directing Twilight Zone, the movie, when 3 actors, including Vic Morrow, were killed. Totally, from everything I've read, totally John Landis's fault. And that happened in 1982. So, in like April of 82. So this happened like a year after all of this. They had John Landis direct this video, which I think was
Kind of
a
boring.
little weird.
Yeah. I remember that being on the news when that happened. So.
Born this day, Aaron Rodgers, who is an American NFL quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
Not anymore.
He is a strange bird, too.
Or
by the
he's
way.
not. Okay,
He is a
Wikipedia
strange
said he
bird.
currently was, but I don't know. Chris Burke, who is a Scottish soccer winger, whatever that means, died today.
Died today? Oh.
Died today, on this day, December
On this
2nd,
day, yeah.
1983, is Athol McKinnon, a South African cricket spin bowler. Died from a heart attack at age 51. And Fifi D'Orsay, a Canadian-American vaudeville and film actress and singer known as the French Bombshell, known for The Life, Jimmy Dolan, and Dixie Jamboree, yikes, died from cancer at 79.
Yikes. I love
Okay,
that
so
name.
we open on South Fork night as JR is putting John Ross to bed in the ginormous new hallway of South Fork
Sorts of new
upstairs.
settings.
I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
They got a new office. They got a new Oil Barons Club. New upstairs.
So JR's walking John Ross down the hall. John Ross is being a chatty Cathy, blah, 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 blah. And basically giving JR all the tea about Peter and Sue Ellen. But Sue Ellen can totally hear them talking about her, and she's just like eavesdropping.
JR's trying to tell him that she's gone to bed because she has a headache, and he's like, well, maybe Peter gave her a headache, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
He keeps asking all these questions to John Ross, and it's like so obvious how jealous he is. And he's just like, and what else happened?
And what else? Yeah.
So then JR, after he puts him to bed, JR like storms into Sue Ellen's room, and he's like, what's going on with you and your lover? And she's just like, dude, back off.
Yeah, he's not my lover. And he says, not yet. But they keep hanging around each other. If you feel like that's coming to an end, that should have come to an end, right? Because camp is almost over, so there wouldn't be an excuse for them to
I
be
think
seen
at this
together.
point, she thinks it's over. She's stopped going to camp, not even driving John Ross there. So she's like, I'm done. Then JR threatens Peter's job, basically. And Sue Ellen was like, no. This is where I was standing my ground.
You know, and this is episode 10, which from what I've read, you know, they would film 8, maybe 9 episodes in Dallas before they would move to California. So they'd film the Dallas scenes in Dallas for about the first 8 episodes, and then they'd go to California and film, you know, the rest. So this might be and I didn't really look, you know, at the set. I don't know if they had a scene outside by the pool. So they may be done with Dallas scenes. This may be completely shot in California. And so maybe that's why we're not seeing the camp anymore.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But now we're seeing these new sets, you know, with the the upstairs we've seen before, but the Oil Barons Club being new, and
yeah.
But we might be done seeing. Well, might be done seeing the camp.
Yeah, guess we'll see. Well, they did a lot of filming in Fort Worth, and I feel like this was maybe some sort of deal they had with Billy Bob's, because Billy Bob's had just opened in '81, so I feel like it was they're really selling it.
Billy Bob's paid them some money to get on the show.
Probably, yeah. Good call, I think.
To answer the question about commercials, a commercial during Dallas on Friday night in 1983 would have cost between $100,000 and $200,000 for a 30-second spot. So they're paying the salaries for everybody probably with one episode. And
right.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Right. Okay, then the next scene, Porn Stash. I didn't put up the music, but Porn Stash is playing polo with Pam watching.
He is the bestest polo player in Texas. I mean,
totes the bestest polo player
she's
ever.
so inspired watching him. He's playing so gracefully.
He gets me excited.
What is she wearing? Like, she's dressed to try to fit into this weird polo club.
Right.
I was like, what?
But also, like, maybe she might be going on, I don't know, on a safari herself.
I think she might be going on a
She didn't
safari.
have the hat, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say she looks like Meryl Streep in Out of Africa or something.
Porn Stash, like, he's like, you know, you're going to be bored because I'm going to be playing for a while. So you might want to go shopping or something. And she's like, what? No, you're trying to get rid of me? I think this is fun. Maybe I'll even take polo lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay. But then Tracy Anders comes over. If it wasn't for Jenna Wade, this would be Pam's arch nemesis. I feel like Pam is fighting so many people in this episode. She's just mad at everybody. Yeah. And she's giving side eye to, like, everyone.
Maybe it's you, Pam.
Right. And it starts with Tracy Anders, who comes over to be like, oh, hey, Pam, you're still around. Which, like, I do have to hand it to Tracy. She is amazing at the backhanded compliment. Like,
Dan Fuller, yes.
Dan Fuller.
Stock actor Dan Fuller.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever seen him in anything else, but they've also come along to admire Mark, the bestest player in Texas.
Oh, yeah. They're like, hey.
Dan doesn't play polo.
No, Dan doesn't, because he's more of a nature guy.
He is a Charity Rodeo cowboy.
Mm-hmm. It turns out not much of one.
No, not really. But Tracy's goading Mark to come to the make-believe rodeo at Billy Bob's, but Pam is above all of that. She's
Pam's like,
I would rather mail a check and skip the whole thing.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like, when did you become such a snob about rodeos?
She's acting like a huge snob this whole episode.
You used to live on a ranch and go to the rodeo there.
Right. And Tracy then just decides she's going to taunt Pornstache, and she's just like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you two like fancy pants now to be in a rodeo? Oh, okay. Yeah. Cause you don't want to get your pants dirty or whatever. And you know, and he will take a challenge.
Absolutely.
She said he was the first person to skydive in the nude.
Seemed like a totally random comment that
So his flappy penis was just
it goes nowhere else. Like, I don't think that ever gets mentioned again. But
I'm pretty sure that would hurt.
It seems like it would. I don't know. I don't have one, but it seems like it might.
And the balls. Oh, my window's open. My neighbor probably thinks I'm crazy. You know.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, Bobby and Jenna have taken Charlie and Christopher to a water park. And Bobby is riding water slides with Charlie, and Jenna is holding Christopher. They're like a little mixed family.
This didn't.
I love it.
Where were we 6 weeks ago when we last watched this and reviewed one? It seems like they're moving kind of fast. That they're just hanging out with the kids at the water park and all that.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember where we left it off. I know they had the big fight, the big brawl, and then they had a little argument and they got over it. And I'm not sure how much time has passed, because sometimes like their timing is like on the show.
So
it's like 2 weeks.
Like one
but
episode
for us,
really
it's
be
been
like
a while.
2 weeks.
So,
right. I bet it's been at least a month they've been seeing each other.
And they already knew each other, but their kids didn't.
I just want to say Charlie's half purple, half white swimsuit. What my Barbie had almost the exact same swimsuit. It is very 80s, and if I could find one like that, I would wear it to this day. Love it.
How do you wear your Barbie swimsuit? I can't remember. I mean, I remember a lot of stuff like that.
Honestly, I don't know where my keys are right now, but I know all my Barbie clothes, because I would always be like, why?
A Barbie swimsuit?
That's like Cabbage Patch Kids.
I'm not going to wear a Barbie swimsuit. If I had that swimsuit as like fit me, because that's all when I was a kid.
Like if they replicate
all I
don't know
wanted.
that you fit in that anymore, Mary.
No. When I was a kid, all I wanted was like my Barbie's clothes, because my Barbie had some cool fucking clothes.
I know.
And
they had like the big shoulders and like the
like Barbie and the Rockers and like
very, very unprogressive of you. I'm disappointed.
I know, but love it.
So, but here Bobby claims that he's, really good with kids, and he used to coach kids football and baseball. Like when? Why? Why would he have coached Pop Warner football and Little League baseball? Why?
Right.
He didn't have like any nieces or nephews. I mean, maybe Lucy.
But he would have been like 20 at the time, because she was like.
Do you really think Lucy played softball?
No, probably not. So he was out spreading the bees. He wasn't coaching kids that he doesn't know.
The single moms.
Come on.
But yeah, Jenna's shocked because she's like, I never expected you to turn out to be like a really good father and like enjoy being a dad, because like you were such a crazy kid. And then he was just like, no, I always liked it. And then he questions her again, like, hey, why is it so important to keep Charlie's father is a secret? And okay, first I'd like to say, dude, she done told you in 78 that you weren't Charlie's dad, so whatever. And she says like that it's just her business, which it's kind of Charlie's business too, but it's not Bobby's. And she's like, hey, if you're only seeing me because you think you might be Charlie's father, like, I'm going to put an end to this now. And then he's just like, no, calm down.
They're really banking on you not remembering that
They
episode.
are very much, yes.
Like, they didn't have any, Josh can look it up how many people actually watched that episode. But they're really banking on it. And it was probably not in reruns at that point yet. So
I'm sure it was not. I'm sure it wasn't.
So it was probably 85 or 86 before it actually started showing up.
Because like I only remember the first time I rewatched the series and like seeing that and being like, oh, wait, wasn't this an episode? Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're kind of rewriting a little history again. Especially when, some of this is believable, but then when they say that she doesn't know her father, then it's like, well, wait, she spent time with her father in 1979. Anyway.
Exactly. And then from that kind of happy couple, we cut to a not so happy couple of Pam and Pornstache, where Pornstache is driving Pam home, and he's basically like, "Why are you so crabby?"
She's irrationally mad about that dang rodeo, you know? Like,
so
just
mad.
Not happy about him doing the rodeo, and I don't know if it's because she realizes it's a Billy Bob's and Jenna Wade might be there, or what her whole deal is. She's just not happy about it.
Yeah, she's just like, what? Like, she says she's mad because he assumed that she'd be going with her, and he's just like, well, yeah, of course. Like, we're dating, and that's something I would do. Whatever. And yeah, so then she's just like, well, meh, meh, meh. And then that's when he kind of he loses his cool, and he's like, you know what? Like, I have been cool, I've been patient this whole time, but you're divorced, and I'm not, like, everything has to be like in your terms, but if we're like, he says you have to start to be a giver. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, it's like he's starting to become a little bit sympathetic with Mark, but because Pam's being such a bitch. But you know, it's like,
yeah.
Then he also is like, he self-proclaims how, you know, he's being patient. He tells everybody how he's being patient with her, giving her space and all that. It's like, okay, wait to pat yourself on the back and break your arm, but
that's true.
Yeah, he wants it to be a two-way relationship. He wants to, you know.
Which, like, I think the weird thing is, like, I do think he has a point, because they've been, like, seeing each other for, I don't know, like, what, a year at this point? And it is like, okay, are we going to just be friends? Are we going to be more? But then at the same time, like, he is kind of being shitty too.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, she's been officially divorced for like 5 episodes, so whatever by the time that is. So it's a little, and of course he was, you know, pursuing her before that. So the separation, it's all kind of one of those, like, the whole thing feels icky. The whole, Mark Grayson last season, this season is all still kind of.
So then we cut to Pam inviting Catherine over to talk because she needs a bitch session, because she's just like, look, I feel like I might have just messed up my entire life. And she explains everything that's happened to Catherine, who is not really sympathetic, because she's just like, well, stop fucking it up.
This is classic Pam, I think. She bitches about something, and then she immediately regrets it, and then moans to somebody else who won't just tell her to stop being a bitch. You know, just like, we'll sympathize with her. Like, nobody wants to just lay the smack down on Pam.
Except Catherine does it. She's like, what did you do, Pam? Yeah. Don't mess this up, Pam. You know, Mark loves you.
Yeah. But she's trying to be sneaky about it. You know, she really needs Pam to not get back with Bobby. She really needs Pam and Mark to be doing their own thing and staying out of her way, because she's already got Jenna Wade now to deal with, and God knows who else might come along, because Bobby being the most eligible bachelor in Dallas.
Right. She does not give up. No, not Catherine. She plays the long game.
Yeah,
he will be hers.
Very long, yes.
With crazy eyes.
Catherine, yes.
And the one thing that we weren't sure of, I think, yet, what Pam said that she had not slept with Mark yet. I don't know if I think we knew that kind of, but maybe it wasn't explicitly said. But then she just wants to hammer that point home to
just to make sure everybody knows where everybody stands.
Right.
Yeah.
And then she's basically like, this isn't the 1800s, Pam.
Give it up. Come on.
Dude. And then Bobby shows up with Christopher, and Catherine starts talking to him about Jenna, and Pam overhears and starts getting snippy about that.
Like how they're just resetting everything, letting you know what everybody's up to, what's going on.
Yeah. It
was very helpful for us because we didn't watch anything for like 2 months.
It is very helpful for us. Yeah. That's where everybody is. So then it's just Pam and Bobby, and basically Pam just starts giving him shit about Jenna and telling him, she's like, I don't think Jenna's right for you. And he's like, you're not right for me. Jenna's not right for me. I don't think you have any idea who or what I need. And then turns around, walks out, mic drop, boom.
Like, get me a list of who you think's right, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Right.
I said he got right nasty and left.
He did.
He got right nasty.
She just does not like Jenna Wade because of Jenna.
She does. Yeah, she's basically like, I don't like Jenna. And he's like, yeah, I know. But so we're not like, you had a right to not like her before, but.
No, girls are always going to kind of be a little petty, I think. Like in that.
Right. Yeah,
dynamic.
yeah. But
Not
he's
like,
saying like she
this.
had a right to like bitch about her to him, like when they were married, but like not anymore.
Right.
She literally left him and then divorced him. So.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Ewing Oil. Mr. Kesey is there to tell JR that he's been swooped in the deal by Barnes Wentworth. And JR is pissed.
Well, this was the second deal he made, right?
Yeah, this is the second one.
Yeah, so this is the second one. So he makes a phone. Is this before he makes a phone call?
No, this is before.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This is when he's complaining to Bobby, and Bobby's like, "Wait, what deal?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bobby doesn't.
And
know
then Bobby's like,
about
"We're supposed to be doing this together," and Jared's like, He's like, "Someone is double crossing Ewing Oil, and I'm gonna find out who."
That's to remind the audience that that Sly's involved here, but he doesn't suspect her or anything because it hasn't all clicked yet that somebody on the inside is giving information. But
she's about to shit in her pants. The wrath of JR's. Please don't find out.
And then we cut to Billy Bob's. Jenna is busy working, and then we see Catherine like skulking behind her, like in the background, just watching her like a creep.
Well, hello there.
She wants to have a little chat. She checked the schedule to just find out when everybody's working, and she knows that Jenna is on break.
She get her schedule.
Yeah, Jenna's on break.
And then she just like stops Jenna, and she's like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And then she's like, "You look familiar. I thought you looked familiar." And then she reminds her how they know each other. And then she's like, "Oh, well." And she's like, "I thought we could talk." And she was like, "Okay, well, luckily I'm on break." She's like, "I know. I already checked." And Jenna's like, "Oh, shit. Okay. All right, lady, let's go."
Girls can be crazy.
I love Jenna in this scene so hard. This scene is kind of why I love Jenna. Because it's just like, so Catherine just gets down to it because she thinks that she's Catherine. She could just like buy Jenna out. She's just like, "Hey, look, I don't want you to, I'm super worried about Pam and Bobby. They should still be together." And Jenna's just looking at her like, "What?" And here's a bunch of money to move to Houston and blah, blah, blah. And then Jenna just calls her out on, "Oh, that's awfully nice of you to do that for your sister."
Yeah, saw right through that bullshit, didn't she?
Right.
So first of all, she's not going to be railroaded by puny little Catherine, who she could
exactly.
take. Right.
She's not
and
afraid.
She's also figured out that Catherine's in the running here, or she thinks she is, and so
yeah.
Oh, you need me out of the way for Pam. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. She just like laughs at her. She's like, "Look, like, honestly, you got nothing because what if this all turns out for me and I marry Bobby?" She's like, "But I don't plan to do that. I'm just dating him. And if he wants to leave me, if he wants to go back to Pam, he totally can. It's totally fine with me. I have no claim on him." And then she just then she basically lets Catherine know that she's onto her and just gives her like catty girl eyes and walks away. Like, don't you be fucking with my girl.
Yeah.
She'll cut you.
Yep.
Don't fuck with Jenna.
Yeah, the cattiness in this episode is thick.
So good. That was what I was gonna do.
Fix it.
Yeah. So Porn Stash goes to Pam so they can apologize to each other. "Oh, I'm sorry too."
He's doubled down on this rodeo thing. Like, "I'm so sorry. Here's a mechanical bull for you to practice on. But I snuck into your backyard without you noticing."
Right.
That's creepy as fuck.
He set up the entire thing in her backyard and she didn't know? What?
Didn't hear anything?
That would have had to take a while to set up a mechanical bull. And then all of that, like, the soft landing stuff are like, come on. Yeah.
And just random people walking from the side to the back of your house in and out.
Yeah.
Pam doesn't notice? Okay. So anyway, doubled down for her to practice. because she's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to New York City.
I'd like to see that in action before I tried it. Anyway. Yeah, Donna's on the phone telling Bobby that Ray's gone, has been missing in New York.
Yeah, for 2 hours.
2
and
whole
Bobby's
hours.
like, okay. It's Ray. Don't worry about it.
Right, yeah.
And then they hang up and Ray comes back and he's all dressed up and he brings her a fur coat and he's being super nice. And he said that this vacation has done him well. He's refreshed. He's ready to face the accident and his life, and he's ready to go home. Never thank fucking God.
Man,
God damn it, Lil.
So much hatred for Aunt Lil.
I can't handle Lil. A lot of things I can handle. Lil just drove me bananas. It just did. Ugh.
So now that in a matter of 2 segments of this show, they have built this, Charity Rodeo that nobody's ever heard of, we haven't heard of, into like the biggest deal of the decade, right? Like everybody's gonna be there, and you. It happens every year,
and you're like, it does? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't think we ever really do again.
No.
Right?
No. I don't mean this is the only season they used Billy Bob's, right? They must have paid quite a bit to get on for this season, and now they're what they are, because of it.
And we've all been there.
Everybody's been there. Yeah.
So then we got to Ewing Oil. Russell Slater is there to meet JR and basically for them to mend fences.
Yeah, and they're going to brainstorm about how all of this is going awry.
Right.
And JR's got a plan to figure it out. Yeah.
And now it's a creepy scene where we see Peter waiting at the fence with his little Jeep, wait for JR to leave, and then he pulls in. So, okay, yeah, her husband's gone, but it's like her husband's whole family lives there.
That was Lucy, wasn't it? Lucy was taking John Ross to school.
Oh, was it Lucy?
I think that's what they said.
I just figured it was
I wrote that
JR,
first,
but maybe.
And then during the conversation, I went back and I'm like, I think he was waiting for Lucy to leave with John Ross so he could visually assault Sue Ellen and the rest of us with that blue cutoff T-shirt and his green shirt.
Right.
Visually assault and
Well, we've all been there. Wouldn't you notice if somebody was just sitting in a car right outside the driveway?
It seems like it would.
Especially somebody in the Jeep that they've driven for a while.
Right.
Now.
Like Lucy's pulling out going, why is Peter just sitting there in his car?
She's whatever. She's whatever.
Using her car phone, like Sue Ellen, FYI, Peter's
go in the house, lock the doors.
Yeah. His belly button's exposed.
Get in the house!
Yeah.
Peter! You just hear him like yelling out the car, Peter!
As they're driving away, he's leaning out and looking back. Peter! What a poor choice of character name there, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so on purpose. Peter Richards. Peter Richards. That is not an accident.
Oh, penis sticks.
Yeah. So anyway, Peter Richards has come to confront Sue Ellen about avoiding him.
Yeah, why have you not been coming around?
Crop top.
Yeah.
Creeper.
She's been busy.
Which my 22-year-old niece was watching this with me today, and she was like, can we bring those back?
Can we bring these back?
She was like, can we bring these back? And then my son, who's 17, was like, oh my God, no.
No.
Why?
A lot of fashions come and go, and you see stuff from the 80s and 90s coming back, and no, that's not something. The high over the calf socks with the 3 rings and the shorts. And
I love those though.
The bike shorts
so good.
And the
but I like the short
crop tops on the dudes.
Like this long one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know I'm just saying if you're a 22-year-old young lady not in a relationship, I think that the crop top is something that you wouldn't mind seeing.
If he's got a good body.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. So anyway, he's come to confront Sue Ellen because she hasn't been to camp. She's had Lucy drive John Ross every day. And she's just like, oh, no, I'm not avoiding you. I'm just like super busy because I'm a very busy, super busy lady with all of my fancy charities and luncheons and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Busy doing old lady stuff.
Yes. Old lady stuff. Mm-hmm. And you could just go play.
Yeah.
And she's like pretty straight with him. She's just like, look, because he's like, I think it's because I kissed you. And she's like, okay, look, Peter, like you are too much of a complication in my life right now. I am married. I don't need any of this. And you're very, very young. And then he talks about love and he's like, but we're in love. And she's like, in love. And then she just she's kind of mean, but I think she kind of has to do it here where she's just like, she kind of laughs at him and she's like, you're being immature. This is an infatuation.
She has to be mean. It's like tough love. She has to.
And then he looks crushed and embarrassed and leaves. And you can feel it. You're like,
this might be it. This might finally.
Maybe
this is finally the end of all that. I'm sorry, I was playing the episode across the room here, and I just saw the scene of Pam on the mechanical bull and in her backyard, and there is like half an acre of red mats around there. Like, how?
I know. That had to be like trucks pulling up to the house, like ginormous trucks.
The hugest delivery truck.
And she's just like, oh, Mark, you're here.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Okay. So first scene at the Oil Barons Club, which they don't name, but it is. No. We know it in the future as the Oil Barons Club. And Bobby has taken Jenna out for a fancy dinner date.
Right. I didn't immediately. I mean, I wrote Oil Barons Club in my notes because I know the show, but I didn't quite click. That was the first time we've seen it. But yeah, of course, he's getting around. Probably was the same set. They just remodeled it. And
probably just to make it because they're like making everything bigger this season.
Right. So now Bobby wants to know if she's going to go to the rodeo of the decade.
Right, and she's like, "Let me get this straight. You want to take me out on a date back to where I work?"
Yeah.
But she laughs.
Yeah, they're having a big deal at your job. Would you like to go?
Yeah, and she's like, she's just like, you know what? That's fine. And then she decides she's going to test Bobby because she needs to see what the actual deal is with Catherine and all. She's like, where's my actual place in this? Like, am I going to be there just to make Pam jealous? Which I think is like she's worried about. So that's when she's just like, what about you and Catherine? And there's no way you've been spending all these weekends alone. And he's like, actually, I have been. And Catherine's my sister-in-law. And she's like, right, but you know she wants you. And he's like, yeah, I do. But it's not mutual. And he's like, I was a complete idiot and didn't pick up on it.
Ooh, how embarrassing.
Yeah.
And as a man, I can totally understand Bobby in that moment. Like, yeah, I am spending some evenings alone with my thoughts and all that. Like that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Even if you are the most eligible bachelor in all of Texas, sometimes you want to be alone and away from all the nonsense.
And he's sad, and he wasn't ready for he's just. But that's kind of what she wanted to hear. Right. I think.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
And then he's just like, wait a minute, did I just pass a test? And she's like, you did. So they're going out. She accepts to go on the date to her work.
Yes. It's like going to bingo night at the bar that you own on a night you don't work.
Exactly.
This is juicy stuff, right?
McSween.
Yeah, this is any scene
serious.
Any scene with Harry McSween is instantly like an extra half star just for that scene.
So good. You know it's serious. You know, with his slicked back hair.
Because you just remember
I just want to touch his hair. It's gonna be hard.
You remember all the Alan Bean stuff, and it's just like, oh yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, where somebody's getting.
Not. My grandfather used to do it with his hair, and it is baby oil with a comb.
Baby oil.
I was like, how the fuck do you get that out? But it is.
Right.
They put a little baby oil on their comb, and they do it back, and it looks like it's kind of like greasy or stiff, and it's soft as fuck.
You're gonna have to use like Dawn dish soap to get that shit out.
I know. I don't know what he used, but it came out. Weird as shit.
Oh my god.
I know. Mississippi thing, I guess.
JR thinks that there is a spy. There's a spy. And McSween's like, we should set a trap. And now we're at the Charity Rodeo.
Finally.
I
mean, it's been just minutes since we found out about this thing.
I know.
It's
quite the build-up.
So much anticipation.
Yes.
And now it's rodeo time. Yes.
And Pam is like pissed from the moment she sits down. So Tracy sits by Pam and makes a wager with her, and Pam is super snippy and like, meh. And then Pam looks over and Jenna's sitting there and Pam's like, meh.
It's just like half of this episode is Pam's.
Yeah, meh. Jenna just like, she looks at Pam and looks away like, Jesus Christ, all right. And then we start the rodeo. Mark gets 77 points. Ray, which Jenna and Donna are sitting together clapping, which is funny if you watch this whole series. And that he gets 82 points. And then Bobby is the last rider. And we don't get his score, but we do know that he got over 77 points because we do know that he beats Mark, because Donna and Jenna are talking and she's like, do you think he's gonna beat Ray? And she's like, it's not Ray I think he wants to beat, I think he wants to beat Mark. And then she's like, okay, well, let me ask you something. Do you think that you'll be good beating Pam at the Mechanical Bull? And she's like, I'm not completely sure I can, which is, of course, alluding to the Mechanical Bull being Bobby.
Oh, is that what that was?
I know, it's so deep and hard to read. So we cut away. We don't get to see what's happening because Sue Ellen, we find out, has set up a meeting with her and Peter at a Pizza Hut.
At a Pizza Hut. I'm glad you said that.
It's totally Pizza Hut.
Peter's got a book it coupon, and he needs an adult
to
buy another menu item so he can get his free pizza.
He read 110 books last year just to get that goddamn pizza.
So he's got his coupon and his Galaga quarters for the Galaga machine, and
yes, and he's ready to go.
Party on. So he hasn't been going to work again.
Yeah,
which we haven't been back to the camp, so we don't know this, but he hasn't been going to work. So she, it sounds like he's abandoned his job, and she feels bad now because his behavior is because he's in love with her or infatuated with her, however she puts it, whatever. So now she's meeting him again because she feels bad.
Yeah, she feels guilty.
With mostly the same result. With pretty much the same
false
result.
hope.
Yeah.
And I feel like if she had just left, if this had not happened, it would have fizzled. But this is just gonna fuel Peter's fire more. Because, I'm sure we've all been Peter at some point in our lives. And if the person that you really like invites you to a lunch, you're like, oh, maybe they actually really do like me.
They've changed their mind.
Yeah. They changed it. Deep down,
at some
they
point,
do want me to.
It gets a little exhausting to be just told no over and over again. And so, but at the same time, It's like, why are you he's not showing up to work? Okay, whatever.
Right. Whatever, let it go. Yeah, it's not your fault.
Let him figure his shit out. He's a kid. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's like 20. He'll be fine.
Love.
Yeah. And then he says, it's okay. Like, I know that you don't feel what I feel, and it's okay. And then she says, you don't know what I feel. I'm like, Sue Ellen, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, you do care about me? And she's like, as a friend and a person. And Sue Ellen, come on.
Which we all know now is code for just walk away, dude.
Right.
You don't need to be friends with this old lady.
And then he's just like, okay, so we can So you're saying we could be friends. So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the Dallas Palace and the mechanical bull riding competition.
I tried to find where this might have been, and I did find some places that a place that might be called the Dallas Palace, or something like it.
Probably doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it didn't seem to have an arena or I don't know. Anyway, I couldn't find this place, so it may exist. It may be something else now. I don't know. It does not look the same inside, so it's probably why I couldn't find pictures of it now.
If anybody knows, if the Dallas Palace was, I'm assuming it was. It looked really.
Yeah, it also might have been in Los Angeles. Who knows?
Yeah, that's very true. And so Mark and Pam and Bobby and Jenna are all dancing to the country band when they, of course, bump into each other because it's a rom-com now. And then Tracy at that second comes and pulls Mark away, leaving Pam stranded like, oh, Tracy shit. And then Jenna, in a goddamn power move, says, she offers Bobby. She's like, oh, Pam, you can dance with Bobby.
So we finally see Tracy's whole point for being here was to lubricate this scene,
Yes. Lubricate it. I like it.
It's not the word I was looking for, but it's what came out. So.
Okay. So then, she power moves like, oh yeah, you can have a dance with him, Pam. And Pam's just like, But I also think this is another Jenna test. She's like, okay, I'm going to see how they are together with my own two eyes.
Because she's still capable of just walking away at this point. Because she's done it before. I mean, she's walked away from Bobby like 3 times. So she's capable of doing that again.
She's like, do I need to walk away or do I have a chance? I need to know right now. Mm-hmm.
I love the scenes of the guys when they get knocked off the bull or they jump off the bull because they like a quick cut and then you just see like Ray Krebs just kind of jumping off screen into the picture, Sorry, that's playing now. So I'm like, this is great.
I know.
Don't even try to make it look like he jumped off a bull. Anyway, so go ahead.
So then we get our points. Donna competes and gets a 77. Which is the same as Mark got.
And how sexist was this whole thing? Like, girls can't ride a real bull. We don't have any girl bulls. We have to.
Right. No, just girls have to do this, fake one.
Fake one. It just does not really seem to move much at all, but whatever.
And then it's Pam. And then Mark, helps her up and, gives her a kiss. And everybody's like, oh, okay. And then she does fair. She gets a 76. And then, this is the best scene. I should have put the little clip on here. This is, which we saw in the preview, where then now it's Jenna's turn. Pam is walking away. And Jenna's like, good. That's a really good job, Pam. You're going to be a really tough act to follow. And then Pam's like, I am. And she just looks at her and she's like, we'll see.
Great. Mm-hmm. Great little interplay there.
And then she does pretty shitty. But
58.
She does it pretty sexy though.
Right.
She's like, I'm not going to win. I'm just going to make it sexy.
Yeah.
And, Bobby notices. Mm-hmm. So then Bobby comes over and slides her off of it, and then they basically start making out in front of everybody. And Pam's like, and walks out. Boom.
And during that whole thing where they're kissing, I'm thinking, I don't understand bull riding scores. So I don't either. 58 looked like about a 14 to me, and Pam's was maybe a 17. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, whatever.
Not sure
I don't
what the process is.
I don't know how this is scored.
I don't think the writers do either. So
nobody actually cares.
Check out what?
So this is the thing that finally makes Pam go for Porn Snatches D. Mm-hmm. Is she's like, okay, well, obviously Bobby is sleeping with Jenna, which he hasn't yet.
Right.
So then they finally consummate their relationship after a million years.
Brown chicken,
and that is the
cow.
freeze frame of porn stash and carrying Pam up the stairs.
After taking the phone off the hook so they don't get interrupted again.
Right, by
Because
after,
that was
yes.
apparently a big problem back then, the phone ringing.
I guess so. You can't just let it ring?
It's a miracle
Okay.
we're all here, really.
Yeah, honestly.
The phone just rings.
All right, so I give this, because this is another one of my favorite episodes of this show.
No.
I give it 5 bourbons. I just really like it. I love the whole Billy Bob's thing. This is one of them I've watched a million times. So I give it 5 out of 5 bourbons and a Jenna Wade test.
Okay. I'll give it a 4.75. And I just like the name. Buck Stops Here. That's just my, I just like the name. That's it.
I'm always like coming in lower than most of everybody else, but I gave it 4.55 bourbons and a Pizza Hut bucket coupon and a roll of quarters for the gallon machine.
Oh, shit. Yes! So we will be talking about season 7, episode 11, episode 142 of the series, To Catch a Sly. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Take care, everybody.
The Ewing Barbecue Podcast is a Stitches creative production. Produced, edited, and graphic designed by Mary Louise Hutter. That's me. Social media by Josh Eilberg and Brad Mulholland. Our South Fork expert and behind-the-scenes helper is Jana Tim. Please check out our website, ewingbbq.com, for all things Dallas and Ewing barbecue related. Copyright 2024. Sit, Bella Lugosi, sit. Good dog.